What if I told you that some of Hollywood's most jaw-dropping truths have been right in front of us all along, just waiting to be seen? Behind the glitz and flashing lights are stories of courage, transformation, and raw authenticity that challenge everything you thought you knew about your favorite stars. In this video, we're diving into 10 incredible journeys, people who dared to break the mold in an industry obsessed with fitting in. From Olympic legends to beloved TV icons, their paths will inspire you, move you, and prove that being true to yourself is the boldest move anyone can make. By the time the credits roll, you won't just see Hollywood differently, you'll feel it differently. Imagine growing up as the child of Sonny and Cher, every move under a microscope, every decision picked apart by the world. That was Chaz Bono's reality. Born in 1969 as Chastity, he spent decades feeling like a stranger in his own skin, performing a version of himself that didn't reflect who he truly was. All the while, he carried this truth silently, beneath the glare of the spotlight. But in the late 2000s, at the age of 40, Chaz made a courageous decision that would change not only his life, but the lives of countless others. His transition wasn't just personal, it was revolutionary. Chaz became the first openly transgender man to land a recurring male role on mainstream television, with powerful appearances on shows like American Horror Story. He didn't just reclaim his identity, he carved out space for an entire community to be seen and heard. What's most moving, though, is his relationship with Cher. Like many parents, she struggled to understand at first. But through the confusion, her love never wavered. In the end, their story is a powerful reminder: love, when it's real, can rise above fear and bring healing where words once fell short. Andrea Pedic. From war-torn Bosnia to the runways of Paris and Milan, Andrea Pedic didn't just walk in heels, she walked through fire. Born as Andre, she stunned the fashion world by modeling for both men's and women's lines, a chameleon of beauty in an industry obsessed with labels. But behind the spotlight was a young soul trapped in between, searching for a mirror that reflected her truth. As a child, she found quiet joy playing with her mother's lipstick and dresses, small acts of rebellion, or perhaps survival. Yet in a world where authenticity came with a price, silence often felt safer than honesty. Fashion became her sanctuary, a place where the rules bent just enough for her to breathe. In 2014, Andrea made a decision that would change everything. She transitioned publicly, risking the career she had built in a world that didn't always welcome difference. But the gamble paid off. She was not only accepted, she was celebrated. Andrea became the first transgender model to grace the cover of GQ Portugal, a landmark moment that shattered barriers and rewrote the industry's playbook. More than a model, she became a movement. Andrea Pedic didn't just transform herself, she transformed the way the world sees beauty. Caitlyn Jenner. Few transformations in American history have captivated the public quite like Caitlyn Jenner's. Once celebrated as Bruce, the All-American Olympic champion who soared to gold in 1976 and embodied the pinnacle of masculinity, she was secretly waging a battle no medal could fix. Behind the glory, behind the Wheaties box smile, lived a silent struggle that began in childhood, when a young Bruce would quietly try on women's clothes, confused and afraid of feelings that had no name. For decades, she played the role the world expected. But at 65, an age when most are settling into retirement, Caitlyn stepped forward with her truth. And when she graced the cover of Vanity Fair under the bold headline, "Call Me Caitlyn," it wasn't just a magazine moment, it was a cultural earthquake. Her journey wasn't just personal. It forced a nation to confront its ideas about gender, identity, and what it really means to live authentically. Caitlyn didn't just transition in the public eye, she redefined what courage looks like in the 21st century. Laverne Cox didn't just make history when she lit up the screen in Orange Is the New Black. She gave a voice to a community that mainstream media had long ignored. But behind the fame is a story far more powerful than any script. Growing up in Mobile, Alabama, Laverne always felt different, and the Deep South wasn't a kind place for a child questioning their identity. She faced relentless bullying, not just from classmates but from a culture that refused to see her truth. Still, she didn't break. She found refuge in dance, a space where she could finally express the femininity the world tried to strip away. But even strength has its limits. By 6th grade, overwhelmed by shame and confusion, she attempted to take her own life. That moment could have been the end, but it became a turning point instead. When Orange is the New Black turned her into a star, Laverne didn't just bask in the spotlight, she turned it outward, using her platform to uplift others like her. Today, she stands not just as an actress, but as a fierce advocate, a survivor, and a symbol of what it means to fight for your truth, no matter the cost. Fallon Fox. In the brutal world of mixed martial arts, where raw strength and relentless grit reign supreme, Fallon Fox stepped into the cage carrying more than just gloves. She carried the hopes, fears, and controversy of an entire community, daring to ask, can a transgender athlete ever truly be seen as equal? Born and raised in Toledo, Ohio, Fallon knew from a young age that her identity didn't match the one the world expected. When she bravely came out to her family, the result was heartbreaking: rejection, emotional scars, and traumatic attempts to fix what was never broken. But Fallon refused to be broken. She rose to become the first openly transgender fighter in professional MMA, an arena where even the toughest warriors face constant judgment. The backlash was swift and brutal. Critics accused her of having an unfair advantage. Hateful voices targeted not just her career, but her very identity. Yet every time Fallon stepped into the octagon, she did more than fight an opponent. She fought for dignity, for representation, and for every transgender person who's ever been told they didn't belong. Her courage redefined what it means to be a fighter. Because for Fallon Fox, true strength isn't just measured in punches. It's measured in the battles you fight to live as your authentic self. Jennings didn't have to wait a lifetime to discover who she was. She knew at just 6 years old. While most kids were learning their ABCs, Chaz was boldly telling Barbara Walters and the world, "I know exactly who I am." Assigned male at birth, she spoke with a calm confidence that stunned the nation. But what truly set her apart wasn't just her self-awareness, it was the love that surrounded her. Instead of trying to change her, Chaz's family embraced her, fully and without hesitation. That unconditional support became the foundation for her becoming one of the most powerful voices for transgender youth. Through her hit TLC show I Am Chaz, millions watched her grow, struggle, and thrive as a transgender girl navigating a world that often misunderstood her. When critics tried to tear her down, Chaz answered with grace far beyond her years. "The only opinion that truly impacts me is my own, because I define who I am." Her story isn't just about identity. It's about courage, love, and the unshakable power of knowing your truth. Carmen Carrera's journey is one of bold transformation, resilience, and unshakable truth. She first captivated audiences on RuPaul's Drag Race with her stunning beauty and fierce performance. But behind the glamour was a deeper story waiting to unfold. As Carmen stepped into her truth and began her transition, she found herself navigating the complex space between being a drag performer and a transgender woman, two identities the public often confused or misunderstood. Her path wasn't easy. Many struggled to separate the stage persona from the woman she truly was. But instead of retreating, Carmen used her platform to educate, challenge stereotypes, and speak out, especially when it came to language that harmed the trans community. When she publicly criticized Drag Race for its use of derogatory terms, she faced backlash, with some accusing her of turning her back on the show that gave her fame. But Carmen didn't waver. She understood that real progress means calling out even the spaces we love when they fall short. Carmen's story is a powerful reminder: true growth demands courage, and real allyship requires listening, even when the truth makes us uncomfortable. Gigi Gorgeous didn't just build a brand, she bared her soul. In a digital world where most people hide behind filters and curated perfection, Gigi did the unthinkable. She shared her transition with millions, unfiltered and unapologetic. What began as Gregory uploading makeup tutorials soon evolved into something far deeper: a courageous journey of self-discovery, identity, and transformation. As she transitioned publicly, every step was watched, judged, and picked apart. But Gigi never flinched. She let the world in, not just to witness her change, but to understand it. Her honesty shattered barriers and created a lifeline for countless others navigating their own paths. Through vulnerability, she turned her YouTube channel into more than content. It became a beacon of hope. Gigi Gorgeous proved that real stories, when told with heart, can spark empathy, bridge communities, and change lives. Hari Nef didn't just walk into the fashion world, she kicked down the doors. When she signed with IMG Models in 2015, becoming one of the first openly transgender women represented by a major agency, she shattered long-standing barriers and rewrote what success could look like for trans women in entertainment. Unlike many who discover their identities early, Hari's journey was more gradual, unfolding during her time at Columbia University, a powerful reminder that there's no single timeline for self-discovery. Her rise from college student to high-fashion muse proved that transgender women not only belong in elite spaces, they can redefine them. With every magazine cover, runway walk, and on-screen role, Hari challenged outdated norms and made space for a new generation. But she didn't stop at personal milestones. Her advocacy is intentional, bold, and rooted in community. Hari isn't just visible, she's paving the way, showing that representation isn't just symbolic. It changes lives. Elliot Page's story is a powerful reminder that there's no expiration date on living your truth. When he came out as transgender in December 2020, the world didn't respond with scorn, but with awe. For years, we knew him as Elliot Page, the Oscar-nominated star of Juno, Inception, and The Umbrella Academy. On the outside, it looked like he had it all: fame, respect, a flourishing career. But beneath the surface was a quiet storm, a deeply personal struggle for identity that no spotlight could illuminate. When Elliot stepped forward and shared his truth, it wasn't just a moment, it was a movement. He didn't gloss over the pain or the fear. He spoke with raw honesty about what it means to finally breathe in your own skin. And in doing so, he lit a path for others still searching for the strength to speak their truth. His journey proves that authenticity isn't measured by timing or acceptance, it's measured by the courage to finally say, "This is who I am." And Elliot is not alone. These 10 individuals didn't just transform their own lives, they changed how the world understands identity, inclusion, and what it truly means to be human. They showed us that authenticity can be revolutionary, that living openly, especially when it defies expectations, can inspire generations to come. Their legacies are more than headlines. They're stories of resilience, recognition, and the relentless pursuit of self. Behind every statistic lies a human story, a beating heart yearning to be seen, understood, and embraced. These extraordinary souls gave us their truth. In return, they've made the world a little more fearless, a little more open, and a whole lot more beautiful. Thanks for watching Exposed Hollywood. If you felt moved by these stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back with more untold truths and powerful journeys. Until then, stay bold, stay curious, and stay you.